How's it going, everyone? It's Thursday here out at Dove Valley. I am joined by Jake Marsing. I, of course, am Ryan Greene, here to give you the game preview of all of a sudden what is a very interesting matchup between the Broncos and the Jaguars. Jake, as always, what are your initial thoughts on the game?
Two things. Obviously, the big thing, Ryan, Trevor, Siemian, Paxton Lynch. Siemian in a walking boot, did not practice most of the week. What's his status going to be for this game? My feeling is that he will not play.
Yeah.
That's the feeling that I have, and that you'll see Paxton Lynch start this game. That's obviously the headline story. The second thing for me is what the Jaguars present in terms of a challenge. Now, they're a 2-9 football team.
Yeah.
But for a 2-9 football team, I look down that roster, 1 to 53, and I see a lot of talent. Young talent, underdeveloped talent, talent that I don't think is necessarily being coached real well, but it's a lot of talent there. Let's talk about Blake Bortles, okay? Jaguars quarterback.
Right.
I loved him coming out of UCF. He's regressed since coming into the league. Part of that, I think, has to do with him changing offensive coordinators, not being in the same system, but his, excuse me, but his offensive system, and in particular the system he's in, doesn't suit him, and physically, he's making several mistakes. But the thing I want Broncos fans to understand about Blake Bortles is that he has the talent to beat this Denver defense. And the receivers that he has, Brandon Marshall mentioned it yesterday, Marquise Lee, Hearns.
Very good.
Very talented group of receivers for this football team. Julius Thomas most likely won't play in this game. That's a plus for the Broncos, I think, because he would present a mismatch for them. He likely won't play. So on the offensive side, I see a lot of talent. Same on the defensive side, Ryan.
Right.
Young guys, Dante Fowler, Miles Jack, Malik Jackson, our old pal here in Denver. A lot of talent on that defense, but that doesn't necessarily coordinate to success. Dante Fowler, who I was really looking forward to watching play this year, has struggled in a number of capacities. He has struggled to rush the passer, only has 2.5 sacks this season. He's somebody that I think, though, has talent. Again, the theme for the Jags, as I've watched them on tape, has been untapped potential, Ryan. The question is, will that untapped potential suddenly get a big fat tap stuck in it on Sunday morning?
That's the thing. If Trevor Siemian isn't playing, or he's playing injured, is now the unknowns even to where the Jags' talent actually does come up and win them some games. You know, where they say, all right, they got a rookie or an injured quarterback back there, let's blitz them, let's send everybody we got, and then all of a sudden the Broncos struggle on offense, as they are, used to doing over the past couple weeks, and then you're in a slugfest all of a sudden. And I could totally see, like you said, a 2-9 team with a lot of talent being the sneaky team that beats the Broncos.
That one game every season, or 1 or 2 games a year that the Broncos go, how did we lose to that team again? Like the Rams a couple of years back. Everybody at the beginning
the Raiders last year.
Everybody at the beginning of the year talked about Jacksonville as a contender. Myself included, and that was for a reason, folks. It's because there's legitimate talent on this football team. It hasn't come along quite the way they wanted it to, but they've lost a lot of very close football games. Jacksonville, I'm telling you, I don't have a great feeling about this game, Ryan. I don't have a great feeling about this game for the Broncos, Paxton Lynch or Trevor Siemian at the helm. I think either way, you may run into trouble against a hungry Jacksonville team that really has enough talent, I think, to get the job done.
Okay, so on Monday morning, if you were to look at the stat sheet, what is one area that would say, okay, the Broncos won the game, or what is one area that says, all right, the Broncos lost?
TJ Yeldon rushing yards.
Okay.
Yeldon is kind of dealing with some injuries, as are a number of guys on that Jacksonville roster, but overall rushing yards from the Jags, I think, are going to be really important. We've talked about it a million times. When the Broncos can't defend the run, they can't defend. When the Broncos can't run, they can't move the ball. Running and stopping the run is the most critically important thing for this team. As a Loomis truck full of money backs up, we're going to end this video quickly so we can head over there. The thing, though, with this Jaguars team is the Broncos finish up practicing behind us. Ryan, I just don't feel good about this game. I'm not gonna.
All right. I think time of possession is going to be the key because if the Broncos are down on time of possession, it means to me that they would have a lot of 3 and outs and they get in the same problems as they have when they lost games. So that's the one thing I'm going to be looking at.
Time of possession important. Yeah.
All right. So you're not feeling totally comfortable, so I'm still going to make you give me a score prediction.
22-21 Jacksonville.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to go 24-10 Broncos. I think while there are a lot of things that could go wrong, and I definitely see the points that you're making, I still think that the Broncos are more talented than the Jaguars to get that
name to look out for, Marquise Lee.
All right.
Jaguars wide receiver has scored a touchdown, and I think like he's a 13 consecutive game touchdown streak or something crazy. I don't think it's that long, but I think it's 3 games.
Right.
But he has a long touchdown streak going. And he's going to be that one guy who might find his way because of the way that the Broncos are going to have to cover Hearns and some of the other guys.
Right.
He might be that one guy who finds his way through the cracks, breaks coverage in the back end for this Broncos defense. So, look, Blake Bortles, his throwing motion takes 9.5 months to complete. But he's got talent. By the way, over/under because of that throwing motion on Von Miller's strip sacks.
Ooh, Von Miller strip sacks.
I want to ask Von that.
I'm going to say at least 1. I want to see how the Jaguars
1.5.
play him because they may be afraid enough to double team him
Their
a
line
lot,
isn't
and then
good
Shane
enough.
Ray
Their
gets
line
3.
isn't good enough. They're going to eat Blake Bortles alive. I just think that might not be enough. That's my take on this game.
Well, we'll see if it is enough come Monday. We'll break it down for you then on our Broncos Blitz podcast. But until then, he is Jake Marsing. I am Ryan Greene. You can find him at Jake D. Marsing. You can find me at rgreen5280. And of course, always be looking out for new content on 5280sportsnetwork.com. So for Jake, I'm Ryan. We'll see you.